unfortunately.
What's up, guys? We're back, finally. We apologize for leaving you in the lurch for so long.
I had to apologize big time. Once again, it's not Ed's fault; it's my fault. Once again, right? And I said that I said that on the trench, man. That like literally, like, I apologize. I mean, it's crazy right now at the moment with me, work wise, home wise, everything. So we're just trying to find a time to kind of do this, and luckily Ed's has got time around this time as well. So we've worked something out, man.
Always
so
flexible.
that's the good thing, man. It's like my honestly, like, to say what my life is like is crazy at the moment is an absolute understatement of the thing is, like, potentially we might be going into another lockdown soon, right? So I've just got basically like work just up to my eyeballs because everybody wants everything done like now.
You realize this is how supervillains are created. They're pushed too far and then they just snap one day and then that's it. You just go on a rampage. So we got to keep an eye on this guy, guys.
That is true. And you know how dark the DC heart is, man. So,
Bits are rotten. Yes.
They're not rotten.
Yeah. You said it right. You said dark. That's what it is.
Rotten to the core, man. No, I mean, like, because that's the thing. Because, like today, I had a whole list of like clients that were kind of booked in, and I saw them, and there were only 2 worthwhile ones, right? And I was raging throughout the entire day, man. So that potentially could have tipped me over into that villain situation.
Remember that face, guys. When you see the badly drawn photo fit, it could be this guy.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. Now we're gonna get when there's some dodgy thing that is going on. I remember that guy. Check that bloody thing out. Oh my god, man!
The serial killer that takes people's teeth.
Oh no, that would be. I'm surprised there hasn't been actually one like that, because no identification.
I was literally saying with people the other day, like, serial killers have no imagination in this modern day. With all the films and the TV with crazy killers, they're just rubbish.
That is true. But I've been watching this one YouTube channel where it's like, it's called That Chapter, right? And this guy, this Irish guy, he basically goes through all these, like, these true crime cases and stuff like that, right? And he was talking about this one case, is basically like this serial killer case, and this guy was active up until 2018, right? So, when we think about stuff, we think, oh, that's the 70s or that's, whatever.
That's the heyday.
There's people nowadays, like, doing this stuff, man. Like,
that is true.
We never know about it.
But what was it about the 70s that was so, like, prolific? Some people think it might be because there was, like, lead in the water in America and all of that, but I don't know. It's crazy.
I think it's just truckers, man. Truckers can go around the whole country, like, and nobody knows where the hell they're going or whatever, man. So that is they should actually have a villain called the Trucker, man, because he was
the Highwayman. That's it.
Oh, the Highwayman. That is it. Yeah. That is the highway. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what you can be doing. And the best kind of detectives could be tracking him down, man. That would be the ultimate. That would be the ultimate thing. Anyway, guys, this is not a true crime show. Even though me and Ed's probably would like it to be. But yeah, man, this is a DC versus Marvel podcast, and there is so much stuff to talk about, man. And things that we've missed, new stuff there as well. So without further ado, let's start up on one of the shows there that we've been talking about for ages, that we've been looking forward to, that we haven't talked about yet, and has already had 5 episodes there to it, man. The Boys, right? So this is the thing, man. I watched this last episode, right? And there was one line in it that I started cracking up, right? And my wife, who's in the other room, is like, "What are you laughing about?"
Let me guess.
Are you?
Is it Laser My Tits?
No, it's not.
It's better line than that.
No. Homelander goes up to Homelander. That was funny as well, man. But yeah, but by that time she was downstairs, so I kind of had to I had to forward that a little bit. But yeah, basically for DC fans and especially anybody who is a Snyder fan or anything like that, when basically Homelander's like saying to what's it called, to A-Train, and he goes that Josh rewrite is something, huh? And I'm just like, oh, you joker. He's like, you joker.
Dig it.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh my god, he basically like, A-Train is like the cyborg, man, and he's just been written out by Josh Whedon to be like, I just thought that was amazing, man. So far, what are you thinking of this season in comparison to last? I'll just quickly say I'm thinking it's a little bit slow in comparison. It's like some of the stuff there. I'm finding it. The Last Boys series had zero filler, right? And this series, I can see that potentially there might be putting some filler in, even though the last episode was amazing.
Yeah, I'm still loving this season, but maybe it's difficult to gauge because it's gone to this week-to-week format. That kind of changes the pace and changes the way, you're not consuming it all in one go. So it does feel sometimes like that when there are those episodes where things are a little quieter, or it's more just character stuff. Like last week when they were just kind of, 3 of them were in the car just driving to that woman's house. Things feel like a dip, but if it was all dropped in one go, it probably wouldn't, because it would have consumed all in one night. But I still love it. But I can see where people may feel like it's a little slower. Doesn't mean it's not good.
Yeah,
it's still very enjoyable.
Definitely enjoyable. I think also as well. I think with this series they're going to need to try and pull something out of the bag, because I can already kind of see where this is going. Right, this whole thing basically. So and obviously it's very, very different to where the comic books are going, but I can already see the pathway, and there are certain tropes there that are coming in that I'm kind of thinking, okay, yeah, this would be very, very obvious if they put some of this stuff in. So we've kind of seen already there, like Homelander is. What are you thinking about Homelander at the moment? Because I don't know. Sometimes I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, dude, I don't know what's happened to you. Like atrophied, like over the,
that's
time.
The thing. Like once he killed, what's her face, the chick from Karate Kid. That's the name. Yeah. Elizabeth Shue. Once he killed her, she was his center point, really. So once she was now that she's gone, he's just all over the place. He got no direction. So that's why I'm curious to see where things are going to go now that kind of has Stormfront by his side. But I don't think that's going to end happily for either party, in my opinion.
Dude, how wrong was that Morph? Was that that guy called Morpheus or something?
Morpheus, something like that.
That was no
in the negligee as well. Just
because I was sitting there and I was thinking, what? How is she back, man? This makes no sense. Maybe they've done some cloning or something else, and then it morphs into that, and I was just like, that is just wrong, mate.
But it was worse when he turned into him. So he was looking at himself.
That's even worse.
Offering fellatio. You can look into your own eyes. It's not gay if it's yourself. Like,
my god, that is just so wrong, man. The whole idea of that entire thing was just wrong. I think obviously, like, A-Train, they've kind of like pushed out, right? And then pushed out as something else. I'm wondering whether this dude is going to try and come back as like a like a villain type of situation, man, because
that would be interesting. It's a shame that this isn't Netflix to a degree, even though I think Amazon have done a bang-up job. But if it was Netflix, already they would have greenlit 2 spin-off shows to go alongside
Yeah,
this. So you
yeah.
would have had some other groups. So maybe A Train could have popped up on one of those ones.
Yeah, yeah. I would have thought this is the thing because obviously in this they're concentrating all on the seven, right? So seven is the main lot,
Yeah,
and then there doesn't really seem to be any others, right? Whereas obviously in the comic books there are loads of others there, right? And it would just be hilarious to get A Train not thrown out of the seven, but just demoted to some really
yes, exactly.
shitty team, right? It would just be hilarious if he was put into that kind of situation, man.
Yeah, the
So,
former high
um,
guy that's just fallen down to the bottom of the mountain with these other guys that idolize
yeah,
him, but he's like, yeah, whatever, I don't care.
yeah, exactly. That would be flipping amazing, man. But there's so many like interesting things in here that I see. So they're basically taken the color scheme of the logo of Batman v Superman and put like the seven there, dawn of the seven or something like that, right? And I'm just like, what the hell? This is hilarious,
I
man.
want to see that
Even
film.
when they did the funniest thing is basically when when they did the stuff and they've like colorized the palette, right?
Yeah,
And then they show the actual thing that they're filming, and it's like this is blatantly, man. They're just like, okay, let's try and make it look like a Snyder film in the in this whole situation. It's just like so many things in there that I was just looking at, being like, wow, this is so DC. Like they're literally just not deciding at all that they're going to be touching any kind of Marvel stuff. They're literally just going into that DC trope, man. Which if you got a sense of humor about DC stuff, then it's amazing to kind of see. But the Stormfront stuff is interesting. I just hope. What are you thinking about the route that they're going to
well,
go with that?
you know the comic book Stormfront better. Is there any elements of that original version of Stormfront that you can still see being added into this, or do you feel like it's gone into a completely different direction?
It's gone completely different.
Ah,
Because Stormfront is always introduced as being the head of this alternative team
yeah,
that they go and send after Billy Butcher, and then Billy Butcher and the boys basically he goes after the boys and the team decimates the boys, but then Butcher kind of like traps Stormfront and tortures them and all this kind of stuff. I think with this, it looks to me like they're going down the Nazi scientist route, where it's like when you're
yeah,
looking at the timeline, she's been there for a long time, and obviously there was that program where they brought Nazi scientists over, and that is touched upon in the boys when they've got the scientist who actually makes
yeah.
uh, the Compound V, that basically he's hinted at that he's a former Nazi scientist and stuff, and I'm just wondering whether she was a Nazi experiment and they were like, look, come over to our side and we'll give you asylum or whatever for the US, but then still got that Nazi ideology that is
That would make
being brought in the
sense. That would
US.
make a lot of sense. But what the
Yeah,
hell has she been doing since the 70s when she was Lady Liberty, and then she disappeared,
yeah.
and now she's back again, like rehabilitated, but not. What the hell is
Yeah,
she doing?
yeah. Maybe she was one of the scientists. I'm just putting it kind of, what it looks like to me is like maybe she was one of the scientists who experimented on herself and then was like, right now I'm the head of the program in the US to create all this kind of stuff. So knowing the boys and knowing the way that it would be some kind of sick reveal to say, like, Homelander, I'm actually really your mother because I created
I
you.
was starting to think that just a little bit, but no, that would be too much.
Because of him with all the milk and all that,
Yeah,
that crazy shit. It would just be hilarious if they were like, Homelander, yeah, I'm
like
I'm basically your mom because I
yeah,
created you, right?
I donated
Um,
my ovaries or my eggs or something, and yeah, you would
yeah,
would not be surprised. Still could go that way.
yeah. Yeah, knowing them, that would be a kind of route that they're going down. But yeah, they seem to be going a very big departure from the comic book stuff. Like when they went on that road trip,
Yeah,
I thought they were going to go to see Mother's Milk's mom, right? Which I was just like, man, if they show this is going to be flipping
yeah,
unbelievable, right? Because basically, Mother's Milk is like, he's quite a strong dude, right? But the reason why he's so strong is because he's like addicted to his mother.
What is with
milk.
this? What is this whole thing of breast milk? This theme going through the boys. What the hell?
So he's addicted to his like mother's milk, basically, and the reason why he becomes like proper, like, you know, following Billy Butcher and stuff is because of the fact that Billy finds him this thing that's like a substitute, so he has to keep drinking that substitute, otherwise
so literally addicted, like a junkie.
He's literally addicted to this stuff. So he has to have like this little kind of sample of stuff that he drinks, right? And then at some point, I can't remember exactly what happens in the comic books. It kind of, it runs out, and then Huey goes to find Mother's Milk's mum. And then Mother's Milk's mum is this literal, like, massive tentacle monster with like 20 boobs. Right. and greets Huey and is like, he wants some milk, and it's like the most effed up thing you ever seen. But it's like, it's just hilarious. I was thinking, oh my god, if they show this messed that's what I thought they were going to see, right? Because it would have been flipping hilarious, but obviously they went to, you know, they went to see. It
wouldn't have made no sense without him being addicted to everything. That just would have just been like a what? Why? Why?
Yeah, man. I'll tell you one thing that I am loving though is the female in this mission, man. Karen Fukuhara's character in this is bad ass, man. It's just like, you know, literally just ripping off faces, not giving a shit. I mean, I don't know what that French dude was like. Oh, I'm gonna snog you.
Yeah, I mean,
dumb. How is that gonna come off? How is that
dumb? I don't know. Your brother's just died, so I'm gonna try and kiss you to make you. What? No, that ain't gonna work. What I'm wondering is how the hell did the female hook up with the French dude, Frenchie's like semi girlfriend person?
Did
they call? Because she never talks. No one understands her sign language. So how did that begin?
Exactly. He's there, and they're meant to be hiding out in the hideout, right? Yeah. So it's like you shouldn't be able to find them and stuff. That was a little bit bizarre, but it's obviously now she's kind of like, okay, doing hits for the Albanians or whatever, which is okay. I guess so, but yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's one of those shows, right? For me, from the kind of way that I am at the moment, like I said at the start, like I've got so much stuff on. I love the fact that this is once a week, right? Because I literally look forward to it the whole week, and then I'm like, yeah, boys is on, let's go watch it. And then sometimes I'm just like, oh shit, man, like, you know, you're kind of watching something that is totally unpredictable every single time, man. And it's like, you know, I mean, I really want to see the route that they go with the Captain America guy, because basically, like, you know, he is treated like shit in the boys, man. In the comic book, he's absolutely treated like garbage, man. Like basically, like basically like he's forced to like do a sex act on Homelander, and then Homelander keeps calling him gay to get in the 7, right? He's like, if you want to get in the 7, you got to do this, right? And then Homelander takes the piss out of him the rest of the time, saying, you're gay. And he's like, yeah, but I did it on you. And he's like, no, you did it, so you're the gay one, right? And basically Homelander tells literally every hero that, look, this guy has done this thing, right? So so they basically treat him like crap. So yeah, so I don't think they're gonna do that, man. But I think it's interesting. I like the way that they've treated Stormfront in this. That Stormfront is like, you know, there is some agenda there, basically. Like she definitely wants to be the head of the 7 or whatever.
Definitely. How was she connected to that weird sort of church cult, which I blatantly think is like a piss take of Scientology, and the deep is Tom Cruise?
100%, man. This is the thing, yeah. This is the thing. He's introduced to this flipping, this woman who's like, I'll do anything, I'll do this, I'll do that, and he's like, yeah,
Oh,
that's the one
oh,
I want. And she's like, no, 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 you want to marry this other one, right? Because they want to show this respectability on TV. And when I saw that, right, and he's sitting there and he's like, yeah, I've had this issue, I've had that, right? I was thinking at some point, if they have the deep jump on the sofa like Tom Cruise did,
would it
right?
be perfect?
And have it, would it be like, man, they are literally taking the piss out of this thing. It would have been amazing, man. Because she's like a redhead as well, right? And I was thinking, this is a blatant Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman situation. So it sounds exactly like Scientology. But that guy, that Hawkeye, Green Arrow kind of dude, he just disappeared off the face of the earth, kind of thing.
Just one episode, it's gone.
And he's like, but
I think he'll be back though. I think he'll be back because they're showing that the church is going to be important because they showed the leader of the church, and I forget the actor's name, but he was a guy from ER back in the day, so he's a prominent actor, TV actor that they're definitely going to focus on that at some point.
Yeah, I like what they did with that Daredevil character, right? Because when they were first talking about the boys and stuff, and they were talking about, they were talking about what the guy would be like and stuff, and they're like, we've got this brand new character we're going to introduce. He's never been in, and it's going to be this amazing character and stuff. And then when he came in, he's literally in for like 30 seconds because Homelander was like, nah, mate.
You get tangled. Oof.
Yeah, that was it, man. Basically, that show just takes the piss out of everything, man.
Everyone.
Even when they said they're like, yeah, Seven So White is trending on Twitter because there's no people of color on the team, right?
Love
and it's like that's exactly what would happen if the Justice League were there now. They'll be like, yeah, you got one black person on the team, right? And it's like it's like what I mean. It would just be absolutely hilarious.
And how long has Cyborg been part of Justice League? Like he wasn't the original Justice League dude, was he? They just kind of wished him in.
He's not even really a Justice League character. He's more of a Young Titans, and then he kind of becomes like the coordinator for their stuff because he's so integrated with the Mother Box, right? So it's like he's more of a Teen Titans stable more than anything else. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, literally, apart from him, you got a green alien in the Martian Manhunter, and that's about it. That's basically about it. Aquaman is a white blonde dude.
Let's be honest, there aren't many options. There aren't many options. Well, decent ones anyway.
That's true. That is true, man. So yeah.
Static Shock.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see a film of that apparently one day, but I wait to see that, man. So far, what do you reckon? What would you give this score wise?
Man, I can't give it anything lower than a 4.5 out of 5. It's not finished yet, so I'm not gonna go like full on, but it's just too entertaining. I love it. I love the characters. I love the unpredictability of the whole thing. You don't know where it's gonna go. It's just too fun, and it just makes me laugh out loud.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just love the fact that it's that, and then so unashamed of being like totally crazy. That's the thing that I love about it. This is why, like, you can have every single kind of sphere of stuff. You can have something like The Boys, which is like brutal, but at the same time doesn't take itself too seriously. You can have the Marvel stuff where you get lost in, and you can have the uber serious DC stuff at the same time. I have no problem with all of those things coming out, so you can see everything. So
I want a Boys universe. That's the kind of thing. I know that a lot of people roll their eyes at that, but I want more of this world. There's so much more to tell that you can't always have in this small. I don't know how many. I was going to go 10, 11, 12, whatever, how long it goes. It's not
Well,
enough.
that's the thing, because they're only concentrating on the 7, right? Whereas there's like, there's so many other bits. They're making that little. They're saying in series 3 they're going to do the stuff like they did in the further comic book series, where they have like one section specifically, a few episodes there, which is based on Billy Butcher, and another bit there's based on Mother's Milk, another, like that. So that's the same kind of thing that they did in the comic books. But kind of, we know a lot of their story anyway, so how
Yeah.
much is it?
How interesting is a Mother's Milk? God, if it was a big technical monster of the backstory, then that would have been cool. But they're obviously not going to do that. So what's to care about?
Yeah, exactly. Just the fact that he just got addicted to this crazy ass creature, just hilarious, man. So I want one whole season, like season 3, where they keep saying, look, we need to go and visit your mother because she's got some kind of knowledge or something like that, and he keeps avoiding it for the whole. He's like, nah, and then the reveal comes at the end of this absolutely effed up creature, man. So the only way that I can liken it is, you remember in Blade when they had that like blob dude who was, Blade went to. So it's like that. It's basically like that. Yeah, it's basically like that. So, should we talk briefly about Ray Fisher and the missions that are going on with him?
Who handles this guy? Who is his advisors? Because, like, sure, you want to speak up when injustices happen, but this guy is single-handedly burying his own career. Like, who is going to want to hire him and work with him after all of this? Like, he just seems like a nightmare.
I said exactly the same thing on the DC forum and just got buried for it, right? Because my whole idea of this guy is like, look, okay, fine, sometimes my kind of thought process is basically, okay, you take it until you're big enough to kind of change it, right? So with me, when I was a junior, I used to get the senior people kind of saying and making me do some of the dumbest stuff. When I look back at it now, I think they used to send me on this errand and this errand. If you work anywhere, you get.
That's what I'm about to say. Who hasn't had a shitty boss, or who currently doesn't? Like, most people do. That's the reality of the world. And that's basically, let's just be honest, that's all that Joss Whedon's really done, being an arsehole. He didn't walk on set and start backhanding people. He wasn't like, grabbing anyone. Like, he's just being a dick. What most people's bosses are. And this guy's just completely whatever the hell his own career for it.
And actually, you know what? I'm starting to change my mind a little bit on Joss Whedon as well. And this will be something that, people won't like. I mean, I still hate the thing that he created in that, I still hate the the Justice League that he created. But my thought process is this, okay? If I say, for example, if you're asked to come in and the people who hire you are like, look, we want you to come in and do this job, right? Because the other guy royally screwed it up. Okay, now I'm not saying that Zach messed anything up or whatever, because as you guys know, I like Zach's stuff. But what I'm saying is that his thing about coming in for the job, he was told by the bosses, this guy screwed it up royally. So we want you to come in and we want you to fix this, right? So when you've been asked to do this job, and this is the brief that you've been given, right? And you come in and straight away in your mindset is like, do you know what? This guy screwed it up. And then you get this young guy. So I've looked into Ray Fisher's, like, his background, all this kind of stuff. This guy's done a couple of theater plays, right? And like one TV thing, and that's it, okay? When a young guy like that comes up and says, do you know what? I think we should write the script like this, and I think we should do my character like this, and we should do the dialogue. I'd be like, do you know what, mate? That's fine, okay? I understand what you're saying, but I've come in to do a job, and you know what? I'm going to do it my way, okay? Yeah. Now, obviously, Joss Whedon would have said it in a different way, right? But it's the same sentiment, right? Now, what it seems is that Ray Fisher does not like being told that, oh, look, thanks, but no thanks, mate. Thanks, but I'm doing it my way. I don't want any of your input. Go away. I'm dealing with it myself. because I kind of think about it in the same way there now with a lot of the stuff that I do, where I'm kind of come in to replace, replace different people in my profession. And I come in and it's like, people are like, oh yeah, can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm like, nah, mate, I'm doing it my way. You've asked me to come in to do it my way. That is what it is. And everything that Ray Fisher is saying, I'm looking at it and thinking, mate, that's not that bad,
He obviously shows his age that he hasn't got the experience of life to know that this is the reality of the world. The world sucks. The reality is horrible. It's painful. It's cold. It's lonely and isolated. You gotta get used to
it. And that's why we have Marvel and DC to actually take us away from these things. But that's the thing. When I looked into his background, I was like, okay, this guy, he went to high school, then he went and he did this play, and he went to stage school and he did this. And all I'm thinking to myself is, okay, pampered guy who's basically been told his whole life, do you know what, you're amazing, you're a great actor, you're going to be the best, you're going to be this, you're going to be that. And then he goes in, he gets this massive break by Zack Snyder. Then this other guy gets told by the bosses, come in and we want you to change everything. And an employee comes in and says, I want you to do this. It's like, mate, why would you even bother?
Give me a sec. Shit. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, bro. Sorry. No worries, man. Yeah, go. They bought me food from the house.
Give it a gourmet meal. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. All wrapped up in foil and everything, man. That is the thing. That is not the way that Ray Fisher would be sending stuff to his boss, Joss Whedon, to get on the right side and stuff. But yeah, that's the thing. Nobody agrees with me, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, but Jordan Peele has said that he's going to have him in his movies." It's like, mate, there ain't going to be no 50-year career in the movies from Jordan Peele. It's going to be like, one shot, man. You know what I mean? That's the reason why people like the guy who directs Star Trek Discovery. I can't remember what his name is now. And people like Ryan Johnson and stuff like that keep getting jobs because they go in, they do the job, there's no aggro, no nothing, and people are like, wow, this guy just got this done with no aggro and dealing with all these egos and stuff that people have, these actors and stuff have, and and it's fine, right? But when you have somebody who there's a crap load of aggro around, like Bryan Singer, then eventually shit catches up, you know what I'm saying? So
definitely.
That is a thing, man.
If you enjoy Ray Fisher, you ain't gonna be enjoying him for long. So get what you can get because he's gonna vanish real soon.
Yeah, exactly. This is a thing. Like apparently, the newest thing that came out is that Ray Fisher basically was told, by the way, mate, you're gonna have a cameo in The Flash, the same way that Ben Affleck's one was. As soon as he was told that, all this stuff comes out, right? So he's just going crazy, like, doing this message after this message. Now, I'm not condoning people getting, told off at work or having bad work conditions or whatever. But what I'm just saying is like, look, mate, if you want to burn every bridge with one of the biggest studios out there, you're going the right way about it, mate. So they're never going to employ you again after that. And nobody else is, because straight away they're just like, this guy's a waste of space. You know what I mean? So it's just
a liability. Not even... So he ain't even going to pop up in the Flash because I heard that his people haven't replied to the offer. They've just... Yeah, exactly. So he's meant to be in the Flash, and now he's just like, no, because he wants his own Cyborg film. Well, mate, you don't get a massive film like literally this early in your career. You know what I mean? You should thank your lucky stars that you're in these other bits, and then build your star up. And then once you built it up, then be like, yes, okay, I mean, can you imagine if people, if like, big stars at the moment were just like, who have been there for years and years, were like, oh, I'm not going to accept any crappy role. I want to be the biggest guy out there, like right now. You know what I mean? So it'd just be ridiculous. So let's get into some Marvel stuff now, because we've been like DC heavy.
So the Marvel TV stuff has been is obviously been going gangbusters at the moment, because everybody's wondering, like, where's the TV content, right? So we got greeted today with a WandaVision trailer. So what's your thoughts on the
Yeah,
WandaVision trailer?
interesting. Get a greater sense of what it's all going to be. It's interesting because it started out like a sitcom, like an old, like, I Love Lucy sort of thing. But I'm wondering how much of that is going to feel however episodes this is going to be. Whether that's just going to be the beginning, and then it's all going to unravel, and we're going to see that this is all just something that Wanda has created, this little utopia that isn't real. And who are these other little side characters that occupy the world but are telling Vision that he's dead? So why are they independent from, because they're obviously in it as well. So yeah, how do they factor into it? And who's the antagonist of the whole show? There has to be one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is, I mean, the thing is, like, I have to go back and look into some of these things, but Vision was primarily a program to start off with, right? Wasn't he?
Yeah.
So he was the Jarvis program. So theoretically, he could exist in a program form without, he obviously got the soul stone, wasn't it? Was it Soul Stone? Yeah. And then he became Vision. But then theoretically he could still exist in a programmatic form, which means that obviously when she's making visions, then these side characters are seeing maybe as part of I don't know, the cyber world or whatever, I guess, that he could be in. So this is the one you were looking forward to out of all of them most, right?
I was, because of how it connects in with the whole Doctor Strange stuff. And I think with the original story, Doctor Strange does pop up, if I'm remembering right. So I'm wondering whether that's going to be the case where at the end, like as a cameo. And I think there's supposed to be all sorts of weird little cameos in this originally. So I don't know how many little surprises they're going to have in this. I want Thanos as the next door neighbor.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Yeah, he's just continuously just annoying her.
Yeah, just the complaining neighbor. Yeah, cutting the tree, staying with like a tweet jumper.
Do you know what they should do? They should make him like Biff.
Yeah,
so he's
exactly that.
Like
working on his car.
He's like, yeah, okay, I'll clean your car for you.
He could represent the unraveling of Wanda's psyche as she kind of struggles to keep this thing together.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. So I mean, that's the thing, because obviously they've got to build it into something. I think people are quite hungry to be wanting to see something like this come out fairly quickly. So yeah, I mean, to see that trailer there is pretty good. But has it made you more enthusiastic to want to see it, or
I've been in this weird headspace of just not letting myself get excited for anything, because when things start to get going, then they get shut down and paused and put on the shelf for a while. It's like, even with Black Widow now, apparently Disney is scrubbing the release date stuff from the website. So that looks like that's back on the shelf again. That God knows when that's going to come out. It's just, I'm just cautiously optimistic, but I don't even know. We haven't even got a date for this, have we, properly?
No. I mean, I think part of that is the absolute failure of Mulan on the Disney Plus, because
say that apparently there are people saying that it's made more money than Tenet.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Tenet is the biggest flop out there. Right? I mean, the thing is this, like, basically, okay, if Mulan apparently has made like 160 or so mil, right? But then it's a 200 million film.
Yeah.
So it's like, actually, in reality, it's lost a shitload of money. But that's the reason why I think they're looking at it saying, do we really want Black Widow to come out on this platform when we could have it in the cinema And that's the kind of thing. And it seems like from the interviews that Scarlett Johansson is giving and stuff, that she really wants. What's the actress's name? I can't remember what her name is. But she's saying Elena.
Yeah.
I can't remember the actress's name, but
Yeah,
anyway, she was saying that she really wants her to kind of take on the mantle and stuff like that. So I think they're looking at that to see how popular that is, to see how much they're gonna carry that forwards into the into the next thing.
Young Avengers.
So we also had a new Avengers.
No, I'm saying Young Avengers. That would be where that
Young Avengers,
that will pop up in.
So, so we also got some news about She-Hulk. So we've now got casting. So Alison Brie is definitely not in She-Hulk.
Shame, because I do like her, but I do love this actress that they've got.
So I don't know much about this actress. So tell us who this actress is and what she's
done a few little things, but the main show that she's known for is Orphan Black. She's on Netflix. You can check it out. And it's a show where she's finds out that she's a clone. Like there's multiple versions of her, like just dozens. And she plays every role. Every one of them has a distinctive personality. So what you basically get with this show over the how many of seasons it is, it's this acting total force of her playing all these multiple characters, different. Some are reserved, some are crazy, some are nuts, some are housewives, all different accents. This actress is amazing. She's wicked. So she can do anything. So yeah, I like her.
Can you imagine The Rock doing something like
that?
No. Having to play more than one role.
The only thing, one have a goatee, one wouldn't. That would be the biggest.
That would be the main thing, yeah. So basically shows acting skills, basically. Yeah. So which will be great in this. And we've also heard another casting for Marvel there as well. In that. We're going to get Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man 3, basically, turning up. So, which is interesting because not the usual villain that you think turning up in Ant-Man 3. No. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, apparently, massively powerful time traveling villain, but I don't know. Does that excite you to know that Kang the Conqueror is going to come in?
Really, but I guess it could connect in with the whole quantum physics of the whole thing, with the quantum realm and time travel and all that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, what happened to it just being I'm not complaining. I do like the Wasp and I like Evangeline Lilly, whatever her name is. But it was just an Ant-Man film. Like, yeah, it kind of feels like he's just like a sidekick now. That it doesn't really do either of them justice because they're both kind of just sidekicks to each other now.
Well, the thing is that it used to be like a proper heist film, right? Like the first kind of thing was like that, and the whole fun was the fact that he can change himself into different kind of shapes, which means that the heist works out better because it's like seeing how this guy would
this idiot bad guy doing good. That was what was fun about it.
And now obviously there is the second one. I think had the sequelitis, right? So the sequelitis basically it's got to be bigger, right? Everything's got to be bigger. Like, have you seen Train to Busan 2?
Oh, horrible! Yeah,
it's horrible. And it's just like they made it bigger. They had to they're like, let's make it bigger, right? And it's like you ruin everything about what was so great in the first one.
It lost its soul. It lost everything that was grounded and gritty and kept you tense about the first one. It just lost all that because it just wanted to try to be this massive, badly CG'd, sort of badly acted thing. Horrible.
Oh, the CG was awful. The CG was beyond awful. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's the kind of thing that Ant-Man seems to be. But I'd literally love to watch get to that kind of like Ocean's 11 kind of style. But if you imagine them doing Ocean's 11 stuff with a guy that can go tiny and then massive, and then it would just be awesome just to see the creative way that they can do that.
Yeah.
The same way that they did with Quicksilver in the X-Men movies, which are all crap apart from the Quicksilver scenes, right? If they did something like that with Ant-Man, it'll be
Days of Future Past wasn't bad. Come on, that was a good.
It was okay, it was okay, but It's okay, but as soon as you see the Sentinel, you're like, oh man, what? I
Oh,
mean,
the Vax, the giant Vax vacuum cleaners. You mean?
yeah, and Bishop, Bishop was one of like my favorite characters, and I looked at this Bishop and I was like, what have they done to you, man? What is going on in this whole thing? So yeah, I don't know. It's not something that I would kind of kind of go out of my way to watch. But Ant-Man's always been this kind of thing that it comes after something that's like a bit more serious.
Yes.
To try and like I don't know, kind of take your mind off that uber serious kind of thing that you've seen there. So so that is a thing. So I don't know, I'm not going to run out and watch it at any point, but
I will.
Still,
I still enjoy it. I didn't mind Ant-Man and Wasp, but yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, but you will. So guys, I think we'll kind of leave it there. Because
Chadwick, we've got to speak on Chadwick, man.
Oh, wait a second! I totally forgot about this. That's so embarrassing, isn't it?
That's terrible.
I forgot about one. That is absolutely terrible. Do you know that's one of the reasons why I didn't really want to, even though I couldn't do the cast anyway, I didn't really want to do it a couple of weeks ago, and the reason being is because I saw so many people jumping on this bandwagon of like R.I.P. Chadwick and stuff like that, and it's like, monetized videos and things, and I'm thinking, okay, this guy's died. Yeah, you're trying to make money off it. I think if you're doing it and it's like, okay, we're giving them money to charity or whatever, then that's a different scenario. But I didn't really like that. But man, this one thing about Chadwick, this guy is a flipping real life superhero, man. We talk about people who are just
crazy that he was living with this from pretty much from when he became Black Panther around that time. Because what, 6 years did they say?
Yeah. Yeah, so we're seeing this.
Can't even imagine.
So the only time when I kind of got a little inkling where it's like, okay, something's not quite right here with him is when there was that film on Netflix, The Five Bloods, right? And I was like, okay, they're putting him in certain scenes to make it look, I mean, he is a big actor kind of in there, but the way that they're putting him in is kind of like, okay, as minimal as possible to give the biggest impact, right? And at that point, it must have been when he was filming that he must have been like unwell, like proper unwell, right?
Well,
and they were just like,
there was a video from one of the castmates who kind of apologized to Chadwick, posthumously, was saying that he saw Chadwick on set and he had this like healer guy with him. He was always giving him massages and he was always separate from everyone else. And he always kind of felt like, oh, this guy's like a prima donna. He's just there with his wife and this guy was always treating him, doting on him, and he thought, this guy's just a prima donna. He's not built for this. But now he knows in hindsight that what was going on with him. Regardless, and he never complained. They were there in the jungle on location. Must have been so miserable for him, but still did his thing, man. Never made a bitch. Never said anything about it.
I mean, the thing is, you see so many people who nowadays who have every little thing, and straight away they're like, my fight against this, my fight against that. Trying to get people to sympathize for them, all this kind of stuff.
This dude was like, look, a sprained ankle.
Yeah, that's what we'll call the next podcast, man. But yeah, just like continuously, like just saying stuff like that. And with him is like, this is for me and my family, and it's like he wanted to. One thing about him is they had this thing in what do they call it? They had this thing in wrestling where they don't have it so much now, but back in the day it was like, this is my character, and you see, I can't remember the word for it. Kayfabe, that's it. So they have the character, and it's like they didn't even want the good guys and the bad guys to be standing next to each other at the airport because you shouldn't be and stuff like that.
Yeah,
with him it was kind of like
the story and the image of the characters they play.
Yeah, so it's the same kind of thing with him. He's like, I'm Black Panther. I want people to see me as the guy who is Black Panther, and I don't want them to see me as like, I'm having this problem, I'm having that problem. And ultimately he lost his fight there with it. But it's just like, it's just amazing that he's kind of kept in a world where literally everybody talks about everything, that he's
Crazy.
kept that in, and just
Yeah. And
just kind of
people must that I'm saying a lot of people, but I'm even hearing that from Disney insiders that even Marvel didn't know, like that they weren't made aware. A lot of people presume that they must have known, but apparently they didn't. Like he didn't tell. But there must have been nurses and doctors that really took that. Like that's honourable. That actually warms my heart that there are people that still take their job and the oath of what they do seriously. That they're not there telling TMZ that Chadwick came in, blah blah blah, blah take a picture, sneaky on. Like
I had to think that Marvel knew something, because after Black Panther came out, the first thing that everybody was saying, and the first thing that happens with any of these films is, where's the sequel? Where's the sequel? Where's the sequel? Right? And you have something that is that that kind of makes that much money and makes that much of an impact. Everybody straight away wants to see the sequel. But Marvel didn't. They were like, yeah, there's going to be a sequel, but they didn't announce a date. They weren't like sticking to any kind of time. It didn't seem like they were like, saying like, okay, they were like, oh, Black Panther's going to come back again in Endgame and all this kind of stuff. But it wasn't like,
it's possible. Like a lot of the stuff I heard was it was Coogler was the obstacle because they wanted to get him back and he wasn't signed yet. And plus he's writing it as well as directing it. So that whole process took time. But yeah, it is possible. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is now is like, did you see like what Screen Rant did? And literally, they just got annihilated. They got annihilated, like literally, like the minute they put up the stuff was they on the day when he died, they put up a poll of like who should take over as on the day, like literally when it was announced, right?
That is disgraceful.
They put a poll up saying who should take over as Black Panther. Here are the options of who should take over, right? And everybody's like, this is disgusting. This is horrendous. And then they put out a statement because they deleted it. They were like, oh, we're sorry that we put this up. It was done with the best intention. It's like, what best intention could you have had to put that up on the day the guy died? You were basically just doing it for the clicks and the money.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was.
That's exactly it.
So,
but given that
sad,
a lot,
man, because
no, go on. You say so.
It's sad because when I was one film that I really kind of just enjoyed watching because it was just like 1.5 hours of just escapism was like 12 Bridges. It reminded me of like these old films that I used to watch in like the the 90s and stuff, where it was literally a very simple, just very simple chase. Not a deep story, whatever, but it was just like it was interesting, it was exciting, right? And he didn't show anything in there that he was like, I can't run, or I can't hold the gun properly, or I'm weak.
Pretty much everything he did from when he was Black Panther was a physical role. He didn't do no slow dramas where he could just sit on the couch all day. He was always up there running. Like, jeez, come on, man, it's crazy.
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. That's the reason why you got absolutely rate the guy, man. So he was definitely, and also as well, like he got into a lot of his stuff quite late. So I didn't realize he was like in his 40s, right?
Yeah,
so
42 or 3.
Yeah. So he's like early 40s, and you kind of expect a guy. Like obviously, the first time we've really seen him on the scene is Black Panther. I mean, he's been in other stuff, but the main kind of breakout role is that, and he's early. He's like late 30s by then. You kind of think, okay, this guy is now in the peak situation, and he's not like one of these people like like The Rock or like Vin Diesel who play the action stars, but actually, if you said there to them, do you know what, mate? Go and do a portrayal of where you have to do a lot of acting and stuff, they wouldn't be able to do it. He actually went and did like the James Brown thing and is like really good portrayal and stuff. He had skills. So yeah, it is unfortunate, man, that he's got. I had to put an apology on the Facebook page because I felt bad. Like basically, like there was one of our episodes where I was just like, "What the hell happened to to Chadwick, because he looks like emaciated in
Oh,
his,
when he
you know,
had
in
that
his
video up.
recent one. So he had this
Yeah.
video up, and we're like, okay, maybe he's doing a role or something like that. Didn't know he had cancer
Yeah,
at the
most
time,
people do.
obviously. So yeah, just like, look, if you're offended by that, then yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So
Well, given that it has been a little bit of time, like the question has to be asked, especially on this DC versus Marvel podcast.
yeah.
Where do they go from here? Would you prefer rest the character that some people want? Other people feel like the character's become bigger than just an actor, so it should be recast or should necessitate. Like, where do you think Black Panther should go?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, if there was, if there was a beloved actor who kind of died, right? Then I kind of think to myself, okay, we have to give them a heroic exit, right, in the film. And I think kind of just like either just resting it and casting somebody else, or straight away saying, oh, it's passed on to Shuri or something like they did in the comic books, which is fine. Or whatever. I kind of think that they need to give him something, right? And the thing is that they could do it with the mask on, of him having to fight against somebody, and then having like a, heroic kind of ending where it's literally just like, you're having to battle against this massive enemy, and you're like the last stand, and then he does it, because then it would show a heroic exit. I mean, some people are just like,
that's difficult though, man. Because you got to get somewhat a sounder like someone who can sound like him to give that right sort of performance to talk, and you have to somehow set up within maybe 15, 20 minutes some believable scenario. Like, it's a difficult thing when you really think about it logistically to do that and to make it work.
Yeah.
And he has to have the mask on the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. Unless they kind of, they kind of look at it, I guess, in another way you could do it, in that you go back in time a bit, kind of like they've done with Black Widow. So you go back in time, he's been snapped, and we're in this time period in the middle where it's like, who's going to be the leader of Wakanda? Who does somebody take over or whatever? And you've got that 5-year period in the middle where it's like, look, he fought, he had this heroic exit, he got snapped, and we're in that snap period. Then I think at that point you could say, right, we have another leader of the Wakandan people, and Shuri is it,
really
or whatever.
Good. That is a really good idea. I never even considered that one. The problem I have with Shuri though isn't the character. Well, it kind of is. I don't see the actress as a black. Like, I know she's popular, but I prefer visually as a person being Black Panther. I could imagine, Lupita Nyong'o more, even though she isn't really in the succession of it, than Shuri.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know. I just don't see the actress being Black Panther. And then can she do that? Like, aren't you supposed to prove yourself and fight and all of that? You can't just take it. It's not a hereditary thing. You shouldn't just be able to just take it. You have to prove that you're worthy of it. So someone
exactly.
else could. So Lupita could do it, maybe, if she's willing.
It would be interesting if they put different people up, because I think what's his name? What's that guy who has the tribe in the mountains? I can't remember what his name is.
Yeah, Umbako or something. Umbaku. Yeah, that guy. That's another one, possibly.
So he wanted to be the leader, didn't he? So they could show some kind of thing where he's trying to be the leader, and then something like that. But yeah, I mean, it would definitely. Yeah,
they're more likely to make a female one if they do another one.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. That's why I can imagine Lupita, because she is a name. She's a recognizable face. She is a star in her own right. Biggest. Yeah, it makes the most sense. But don't recast it, because if they do, I know who it's going to be if they did it. And I don't want it to be that guy. The movie that just came out that neither of us
Ray Fisher.
No, God, as much as he would love that. No. Bloody, what's his face? Washington Jr.
Oh, no.
He would know that they would go for him. I don't want it to be him, but it would, because he's the guy on the come up. Everyone loves.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Isn't he? Isn't he under Warner Brothers contract at the moment?
Does that
I
even
don't.
matter
I'm not
nowadays?
sure.
Everyone jumps back and forth. Does it really? Can you
I
do that
get.
anymore?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is this: like some people, some of these actors, they stick with like one director for a while because they know that director is gonna, you know, bring them up higher and higher
Yeah.
and higher. Like, you know, you have a group of actors who've always stayed with Scorsese, right? Whatever else they've done, they've always stayed with him because they know that he's gonna pull a banger out at some point. And you know, it's gonna be like, I mean, without Scorsese, where would Leonardo DiCaprio be? You know, I don't think
Oh, I think
he'd
he'd
be
be
the
alright.
same kind of thing.
It'd
I think
be yeah.
he'd be okay, but I don't know. I don't think he'd, because you know when you're watching certain things. I mean, like I watched The Departed again recently, and it's like the
Yeah,
guy
man.
looks so young in there, man. It's like,
Yeah.
you see like how long ago that kind of stuff was. It's just with with that, I kind of think to myself, well, is Washington going to stay in that WB stable and then trying, would you want to work in as being Black Panther, or would you want to work with Denis Villeneuve and some more Nolan stuff? And
If it was
it's
any other
a difficult
character,
one.
I'd say you'd want to probably stick around and go with the villain news and all of that. But I don't know the effect that Black Panther has and the cultural significance, especially for the black community. I think he would. Actually, I don't know. He could be scared off by it because again, trying to follow in anyone's footsteps, in Chadwick's footsteps, it's going to be disaster for anyone, no matter who it is. Like, there's going to
Yeah.
be people that are just not going to accept it at all.
Well, he's the front runner for Green Lantern at the moment. That's the other thing that they're saying. So I don't know. When I see him, okay, this is the thing. Like
Not
he's a
physical.
decent actor. Yeah, he's a decent actor, but it's like, when Denzel Washington walks on screen, right, on stage, right? It's like,
Sparks. The sparks. That's the
yeah,
star. That's the
yeah,
star. As soon as you see him, this guy
yeah,
just comes in. No, no, no.
yeah. It's like, okay, he's an actor and he's an all right enough actor, but there's nothing like, wow, this guy's special in
Exactly.
in any kind of way. He works well as an ensemble kind of thing,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, in everything they've paired him with somebody as well. So like, obviously they had the Black Klansman, and he was with Adam Driver,
Yeah.
and then in this, most of the film, he's
Robert
with
Pattinson.
Pattinson. So he's kind of paired with people, I guess, because it takes less of the kind of focus of what he is doing, kind of thing.
What do you think of I forget his name, it's a complicated name. But the dude who played he was in Aquaman and he was also in the Watchmen as well. That dude. The guy who was
Oh
Manhattan.
yes. Yahya Abdul Mateen.
Very good.
No,
Good
no, he's
memory.
good.
No, I mean
Yeah.
you pronunciation of the name, very good. But yeah, he's
Yeah,
got the
he is.
stature, looks
Yeah,
imposing. Yeah,
yeah. Black Manta.
yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely got that, and he's got the presence as well. He's got that presence there as well. Like, they had this thing on Netflix where he was in the same episode of Black Mirror as Anthony Mackie, and you can see the difference.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
you can see the difference in, like, this is a star and this is Mackie,
There you go.
basically.
There you go.
So, but no, because he is Dr. Manhattan and Black Manta, and we are not giving him to Marvel. Under no circumstances he go to Marvel. So, so he could stay there. But yeah, I mean, he is a big potential for that. I think he was. Has he been in something before with Lupita?
Yeah, I think it was in Us, was it?
Us was the other guy, wasn't it? The guy who plays Umbaku was the Us guy, wasn't it? And then, but Yaya was in something else. What, I can't remember what it was,
What
but
else
he
is?
was.
Keep going, keep going.
I can't remember whether I'm just thinking I can't quite remember what it was, but yeah, he's definitely got good caliber there as well, man. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. Oh,
Yeah,
we
he is.
forgot to
He
talk
is.
about
He is in us as well.
he is in it. He is
Yeah,
in it.
yeah.
We forgot to talk about what's it called, man? The other awards that the Watchmen got and stuff.
Was
They just
it
recently got.
Emmys?
Yeah, so recently been given, because obviously they got loads of nominations,
Yeah,
and now
they're
obviously
good.
they've received a crap load of awards there as well, man. So hopefully that means that HBO Max has kind of learnt its lesson and is gonna produce more and more stuff like this, man. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see, I guess, if HBO Max are deciding
Well,
to,
they're doing
to
good.
help
Have
out
you
and stuff.
watched? You haven't watched Raised by Wolves? I'm enjoying that.
I haven't. That's on H. We don't
Yeah.
get HBO Max though.
No, well, no, but still watch it.
Okay, this is just a way for me to trap Eds because yeah, we don't get it in this country, Eds. Come on now, where are you getting this from?
I will
So
not wait for them to supply us with this stuff. Give it to me now,
yeah,
or I
I
will
heard
find other means.
that's Ridley Scott, isn't it? Ridley
Yeah,
Scott, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. So anything Ridley Scott makes, he's kind of a bit hit and miss sometimes, but sometimes he comes out with some bangers, like proper, like, so yeah, I would definitely want to watch that when it gets released in the UK, when it gets released in the UK, but also the uh, the the increase in HBO Max has now spelled the death of the DC universe, right? So the DC
Inevitable.
Universe app is basically being turned into a comic book only app, premium comic book service. So they're taking off all of the shows, all the Titans and all that kind of stuff is leaving the DC Universe app,
Yeah,
and the DC Universe app is turning basically into the same as the Marvel Comics app, which is like you can read
but you've already got that.
everything on it.
There's already a DC app.
Exactly. So they're going to pull all of that over to there, which is just ridiculous. I mean,
It's
exactly.
illegal.
And the thing is this is so, to me, this is the dumbest thing ever, right? Because I don't know, man. It's one of those things, right? You know when they released the tablet, the Kindle, right?
Yeah.
And everybody like, yeah, man, people gonna go and read all their books on Kindle and blah blah. And for a while, for a few years, everywhere you went, you just saw Kindles, right? Everybody had Kindles like everywhere. They're out in the park, all this kind of stuff. And it's like you look around recently, right? And it's like, okay, people got their phones and stuff, but all these Kindles are like disappeared, and like books are reappearing, right? People are starting to go back and buy like actual books because people like the feel of the paper and holding that kind of stuff. I think that's the major problem with these apps, man. You look at an app, it's like, okay, the story's okay, but then it's like you want to have a collection, or you want to have a the sign that you've got this in your hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a very different kind of.
Guys like you and I do, but the sales indicate that a lot of people just don't anymore. So, well, what alternatives have they got? They got to do this.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it doesn't look like it's gonna happen anymore. So that is the end of it, man. I'm just seeing, because I'm slowly fading
Slowly
into
disappearing
darkness.
into
I'm
silhouette.
slowly
Reflecting your
disappearing, man.
mental state as you slowly crack.
Yeah, this is literally the heart of Batman, as it just disintegrates into just like, yeah, that is literally what is happening to my soul, guys. So you really need to help me out a bit. But yeah, that's the thing, guys. We're gonna try and obviously make sure that we come back and get the news as and when it happens, and apologize about the fact that we missed quite a few, and all the stuff is crammed into this. But yeah, we'll come as and when we get stuff and try and review that. Especially, I know a lot of you guys have messaged about The Boys and stuff, and they're saying, "Where's your review? Where's your review?" And yeah, we'll try and do it every week. That's the main thing. So anyway, guys, if you want to catch us, you can catch us on the Facebook page, which is the most popular, which is DCVS Marvel Podcast, or go to the website, which is dcvsmarvelpodcast.com. We also have an Instagram page there as well. Oh, you still have got that page?
Yeah,
kind of. Okay. So you can go to that as DC versus Marvel podcast there as well. And obviously we've got the Voltron Network, which is the YouTube page there as well.
Separate words. Go check it out. Give us a like, thumbs up, recommend it to your friends. Obviously subscribe. Show love, man.
Yeah.
And don't forget, if you only listen to the audio of this, iTunes, whatever podcasting platform listening to, just like us, review, whatever, man. It helps people find us.
Yes, and now also, guys, Amazon have now launched their podcasting app on the Amazon Audio, Amazon Music app. So basically, you can find us on there as well, and they've got their own rating system, which is separate to iTunes. So the DC vs Marvel podcast is on there. Which I submitted this last week. So check us out on there as well, and review us on there as well. Even if you give us a 5-star review, but give us the shittiest comment ever, like basically like just give us 5 stars and say like, these guys, man, I don't know, they
don't know a damn thing about comic books. They're fraudsters.
yeah, exactly. They're absolute frauds. And yeah, just like I only listen to realize to hear what kind of crap they're going to come out next week, how wrong they're going to be week on week. But just make sure the 5-star is in there. Eds is on some other platforms there as well, man. So Eds, where can they find you?
Check out Talking at the Movies on all podcasting platforms, and now that you reminded me about the Amazon thing, I've got to get around to doing that. It's also on the Voltron Network, so you can see the videos there. Talking at the Movies, go check it out.
Awesome, guys. So before I fade to black in the cinematic way, I'm literally fading out. We'll see you again next time.
There you go.